Are you having difficulty figuring out how long to let the cake cool before frosting? What happens if you frost the cake immediately? Not to worry, because this article will guide you in knowing what to do and why. How long to let a cake cool before frosting? If you frost the cake immediately, it will result in a mess. You should take out the cake from the oven and let it cool on the counter for around an hour or two. Please do not think that you can decorate it right away with the frosting once the cake is out of the oven. How to know if the cake has cooled properly? You can apply the toothpick test, stick it into the cake, and let it stay in the cake for a few seconds. Then, try and feel it if it is still warm once you have taken out the toothpick stick. How to cool a cake quickly? You can quicken the cooling process by placing it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes or an hour. However, ensuring that the cake is no longer steaming, and that you cover it up first with some plastic wrap before putting it in the fridge to prevent the cake bread's texture from changing. Is it okay to cool a cake in the freezer before frosting? If it can be cooled in the refrigerator, why not speed up the process in the freezer, right? However, it is not recommended, as it cools down much quicker, especially in the center. Doing this will transform the water into ice crystals, and when they melt, it can make the cake soggy. So, as much as possible, do not freeze the cake. If you do freeze it, do not leave the cake in the freezer for more than 30 minutes. Also, make sure to wrap it tightly with plastic wrap. Tips for frosting a cake. After the cake has cooled entirely and is no longer hot, it will not melt the frosting. So, begin by placing a rotating cake stand or a flat surface onto the cake. Ensure that it stays in place to prevent it from falling or from pushing it over the surface. You can then spread a bit of frosting onto the cake until all the cake sides are entirely covered. Simultaneously, make sure to apply a small amount to prevent deforming the cake with the spatula. In addition to that, apply consistent pressure when using the spatula. There are no strict rules regarding the matching of frosting to cakes. However, it is best to know that for airy confections such as chiffon and sponge cakes, stick to a lighter frosting. On the other hand, sturdier cakes such as pound cakes and butter can stand up to all frostings. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.